the next step is how to issue payments for them. So here we would go under what we call the cash management section, payment journals. So in the payment journal window, we do have batches available. So here you could create your own batch similar to GP, name it however you like. One thing we do have here is that you could set up what we saw the balancing account in this case would be your default account that would be so reissuing payments. You could simply default the bank account, say everything's going to be paid from operating. So that way the system you don't have to select that bank account for each line. So once you've done that, I'm going to go ahead and open the batch here. Now here, there's two different options to issue payments. If you simply want to issue a payment for one of the, let's say the computer supplies, I could simply select the vendor, go to process, apply entries, and then I get a list of their open invoices here. And I could simply select all the ones I want to pay. In this case, there's only one, but you could always select more, check the ones you want to pay, and then set applies to ID, and it will pay that. Select that one specific one we're working on. So the $59.99 we entered, the bank account information is already populated there. And then the bank payment type here, we would just select the type of payment we're issuing. So if we need to print a check, it's a computer check, manual check would be sort of like the manual payments and GP. And then electronic payment would be an ACH file that would have to be generated. So that's the manual approach, is you select the information, you proceed from there. The second option is more as the build check batch option. So here I could go under prepare and then suggest vendor. And here what it's going to do, your last payment date would be your cutoff. So anything that either has a discount or is due by this date will be populated into this batch. And then your posting date is simply your the date of you're issuing the checks as of. So I could say anything that's due as of this Friday, I enter that there, I select OK. And then the system will go through all the vendors, try to find anything that's outstanding, and then it's going to let me know if it found anything. Now in this case, it did find quite a few, so it brings back all the open invoices that we currently have outstanding. Here I could select which ones I want to pay. So for our sake, I'm just gonna do one of these, but I'll remove the rest in this case. And I'll just say I'm just gonna pay one this time. This is more for information, your payment method. You could enter more for your reference to know what type of payment method it was. But the one the system will be looking for is this bank payment type. So if I say it's a computer check, I enter that there. Then from there, I could go into my check and print the check. That's the first time I'm doing it here. So you just select the bank account one more time to confirm. Essentially, since it's the first time it's making me do it, after that, it will recognize the bank account that was selected. And then here we do have a couple options. So if you want to have one check per vendor, if there's multiple invoices, you could do so here, or you could also just go into the apply window and have everything. You summarize all the ones you want to pay there as well. For the most part, the first time you print the check, you don't have to select anything here. I could go ahead and just go to print. And then it's going to go ahead and show me a preview of the check. This is one simple check layouts available, but we obviously can modify this to a stub check stub, or depending on which format you're currently using. Once it's been printed, you'll notice that there's a check printed checkbox that's marked. It's a read-only field. At this point, you cannot make any changes to the check. So if for some reason the check got stuck on the printer, you have to reprint it. You could go back to check, print check one more time, but this time you could reprint the check. And then the last check number, you could modify this to reflect the correct number that needs to be printed. But here you could reprint the checks. And then I'm just gonna cancel, but if everything's okay, or if I need to void the check, you could void the check here and then reissue it with a new number if needed. So you could repeat the process. You'll see the document number is now my check number, and then I could go ahead and just post this payment. and then we'll put in my batch. It lets me know it's been successfully posted, and then the batch is cleared for next time I want to issue payments.